All right, so today we are going to continue on what we've been learning about biofuels and looking at alternative energy. If you remember, about a week ago, we looked at what different biofuels are and how they are used from the last lab. So the first thing that I would like you to do is, as a class, I would like one person to come up to the board and make a list and brainstorm different types of fuels that we use. Sure. Thank you, Quinn. Does anyone have ideas for Quinn for what she could write down, what type of fuels we use?
Diesel. Kerosene.
Biodiesel.
Ethanol. Nitrogen.
No.
Are you satisfied with that list? I think that's a great start. Thank you, Quinn. So thinking back to our first lab, is there any other ways that you would describe fuel, or that we use, things that we use as fuel? What about our alternative energies or our renewable resources?
Oh, we found that.
Oh.
What about wood?
Coal.
Wood, coal, okay, so maybe we could add some more to that list, but I think that's a good start to get you guys thinking. The next thing that I would like to do is I'm going to pass out this article, and I would like you to just take a minute. I have some highlighters and some colored pens here. Read through the article and point out some things that you think are important and that you think from this list that we might be looking at today, or that we might be going further into our research about fuels and how we use them. Need a highlighter. Also, if there's any words that you don't know, be sure to highlight those as well. Now I'll just give you a quick 2 minutes. We're just going to skim through quickly.
My car runs on hydrogen.
Your car does? Must be pretty expensive.
No. It's environmentally friendly, so it's worth it. Feels like you're up the earth.
Thank you for sharing.
My dad built my car too. He wants something to work where it get lots of money.
You did? That's interesting. Does that go with what's in the article?
Kind of. So we can share the class.
Okay, so at this time, it's okay if you haven't gotten all the way through the article and read everything. I would like you to get with a partner or the person sitting beside you. You guys can just be a group of 3 and talk about some of the things that you highlighted, some of the words that you might have questions on, and see what thoughts they had and how they compare to yours.
Okay. You guys hired?
You got intractable ideological fights and geopolitics. The 2 big ones.
Gotcha.
Zero carbon.
My big one's probably zero carbon energy.
Oh, I have that one too. That's just
It's
I
not
got
a good idea.
It doesn't solve the by using natural
Oh.
gas, it doesn't solve the problem.
I didn't see that.
I thought that was
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
expensive
interesting.
stuff.
And then
I like how it
has-
said that,
What do you
it's
highlight?
always about energy questions, whether
Yeah.
it's smart or stupid, that's kind of fine.
Yeah. And I mean, I kind of circled that whole energy freeze thing, because it just kind of
Wait, energy what?
it's in the tag, like it's not part of the article, but energy police is
What policy?
You don't have it?
That's what I remember that.
Mine.
I just like highlighted this and I said, what about oil?
Well,
Because I thought
I thought it was- that was
It's
funny.
already full of lies, so there's like a part in there about, saying that when Libya erupted in civil war like 2 years ago, the price of oil from Canada increased, so it was more than the price of oil in the Middle East, so I just thought that was interesting how it's
It
like,
was just an odd way for it to be presented.
is globally affected.
Yeah.
World by other countries or whatever.
Gotcha.
That was a little.
I would work through all those things you guys
Ironic.
underlined and just talked about and think about a main idea from the article and why we would be looking at this.
That guy's got a cool last name.
I think there
He
was
also has a cool first name. Well, this is on my way.
is how do we get rid of carbon conscious? Make it better.
Yeah.
Did you guys say some of the same things?
Yeah.
We both had zero carbon.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
So,
I think it's, they need to be smarter, like, resource that.
Yeah.
Is that what you think the
Will
main?
not be global.
Yes, I think it's how do we get rid of, I mean, talking about there's alternatives, but
can we
isn't,
get rid of that?
until you actually make it zero carbon, you really
No,
don't
it
accomplish
does.
anything.
Okay.
Makes excellent sense.
Okay, are we ready to discuss as a class or do we need another minute with our groups?
Do we have it that Pat?
Sure.
What do you think? Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so the first question I have for you guys is what do you think, why do you think I gave you this article? What do you think the main idea was or what I wanted you to get from it?
I think it was just to get us to start thinking about the fact that there's other, energy sources out there and that it's a big controversy right now within, the government and around the world. And, we thought that the main idea was that we need to start like thinking about another renewable energy source that's not going to be affected by the global market.
Yeah, definitely. And can you share with the class the source where that article was from?
It is from,
US News.
yes, US News.
Yeah, the US News. So that's a pretty big pretty big deal if they're talking about this in the US News, right? Yeah, good, thanks for sharing. Are there any other comments on the article?
I think we thought that it had to do with the zero carbon, not how do we get away from those type of energy sources?
Yeah, definitely. So the article talked about what energy sources we're using and are those what we should be using and are those renewable versus non-renewable. Those are great. So let's put those two pieces together. So we have a huge news article that was published in the USA, the News Today, very controversial topic, and we're looking at testing fuels, right? So if someone would like to come up to the board up here, let's brainstorm a little bit. How would we test fuels and why would we need to do that maybe? Let's think about that just as a class. Just shout them out and Brittany's going to be our recorder. Do you think the fuels that we're using?
Carbon output.
Okay, good.
Emissions.
Do you know what emissions are, Billy?